Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. I've talked about this before about why attorneys won't do depositions, but here's another little tweak to it about their excuses to not do depositions. A lot of attorneys will say, well, depositions are rarely done in family court. Yeah, because family court attorneys are corrupt, stupid, and idiotic, and all they want to do is go to meeting, collect their big fat retainer, maybe fight at one hearing, go through a guardian line, go through a parenting evaluator, go through anger management, go through DV assessment, go through a mental health evaluation, and then at mediation site, they'll say, well, you're going to get screwed at trial, so you might as well settle. Well, if you don't settle now, I'm going to bail on you. And they had no intent of fighting for you. So there's no point of doing a deposition when you're never going to go to trial and hold the other side accountable, and you just want to make easy money, because a deposition and trial are actual work. And sometimes a temporary order hearing is, but real investigative and understanding, you have to know a case, you have to understand it, study it, and prepare for deposition. Attorneys don't want to do that. So, number one, they'll say, oh, well, they don't happen that often. I worked at McKinley Irvin, the largest family law firm in the entire Pacific Northwest, in Seattle, as a legal assistant. We would have team meetings at the beginning of the case, and often they would say, well, let's do a deposition on the father or the mother, right away within a couple weeks, right from the jump, to get their answers. And the fact that attorneys say, well, depositions aren't used that much, or they'll say this, depositions that'll be really expensive. You're expensive, period, you idiot. A deposition is the number one tool or weapon that you could use. Go watch my YouTube video. If you're not a lazy bum, like a lot of you guys like watching this video, like, oh, that made a lot of sense. And then you don't do any research after that. You don't go look up the law. You don't look at the science that I have free and accessible to you. You don't go look at the videos that I recommend, and you're just half-assing it. So you're going to lose in court because you have a half-ass lazy attitude, and you're hoping somebody will provide a miracle. I just saw a post on a dad's rights page on Facebook that came across my page, and it said, instead of saying, how come you didn't fight for your kids, let's ask the mothers why a father even has to fight at all. Because we live in an unfair, corrupt world. And there's always been groups of people in the history of the world. There's always been countries that invaded other countries. That wasn't fair. There's always been groups of people that were discriminated against. Women were second-class citizens, and dads got custody in the early 1900s. Same thing happened in older Europe. That's where they came up with the 10 years doctrine. Go Google the 10 years doctrine and look at the feminist lady who invented that thought. They went from automatically giving custody to dads, and mothers wouldn't see their kids for months or years because they were second-class citizens, to custody going to mothers, and dads wouldn't see their kids for 4 or 5, 6 or 7 years. And then in America, women were barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen and couldn't get a job, and then they wanted to get out in the workforce. Actually, a whole bunch of women didn't want to be in the workforce because they wanted to be housewives, but the radical feminist, butch, hairy leg, hairy armpit chick said, no, you have to go out. You have to follow us. All the psycho, demon-possessed weirdos like, you have to do this, you have to do that. And so they followed along, and there's a good argument that the Rockefellers, supported the feminist movement because they wanted to tax two people in the house. Women are so stupid, they wanted to get out in the workforce, get away from their children, live a life and try and prove that they could fight and be equal with men. And now they're complaining about not having equal pay. And then now they're 50 and they're a CEO of a corporation, and they go home to an empty home with a cat. Anybody who says that they're a feminist is a dumbed down, airheaded moron. And because the whole movement, 100 years ago, you could go, if you look on my flow page, which most of you won't ever do that, but the ones who actually will, there's a 400-page online PDF called The Case for Father Custody. And Daniel Amnius goes back and quotes a bunch of feminists in the early 1900s. They wanted to destroy the patriarchy. They wanted to destroy the father or the male's role in the family and just extract money from them. It's been an agenda for over 100 years. And one of my friends who's researched it said it goes back 300 or 400 years to old Europe, probably back to that one lady who got the 10 years doctrine in place, which is totally unscientific. So, that being said, all kinds of groups suffered. Native Americans suffered. Japanese citizens suffered during World War II in America. Of course, black people suffered. Jews suffered in Germany. What makes you guys think that men can't ever suffer a wrong at the hand of somebody? And all those people fought for freedom and and discrimination to be reversed and all that kind of stuff. But my gender, we just sit here and whine, cry, piss, and moan like a bunch of little Mitches. Oh, why do you even have to fight? Because anybody throughout history had some balls to stand up and fight for something, you punk little sissy. God, my gender. Now, on top of dealing with that, I'm dealing with, yesterday I get a text from somebody. They called me, then they text me. I'm in the middle of my side hobby project where I'm shooting the high school basketball tournament in Washington, and I'm doing a bunch of video work. I'm in the middle of shooting games, posting stuff on social media for the kids and all this stuff. And somebody calls me, and they're like, "What the F? You can't answer me?" And it's Saturday night. And somebody's pissed that I'm not answering their phone call. And then they're like, "What the F? Are you just going to ignore me? I'm reaching out to you." All you narcissistic, entitled divas that think I should just come running. "Oh, James, here's finally somebody who actually empathizes with what I'm going through and actually has some answers. Let me call him. He's talking all the smack about calling me and said, I didn't have an appointment with this person." You could do what normal human beings do when they need to meet with somebody. They set up an appointment that's mutually convenient. Just because I'm adamant about this stuff and passionate doesn't mean I'm your personal butler and I'm on call 24/7. Idiot. So I get one extreme. I get my gender is a bunch of sissies and they don't want to fight, and I tell them they should fight, and I prove that I won, and they're like, "I can't do it. Did you see my winning orders?" "Yeah, but I can't." Okay, just be a pussy and run along, pussy. Just be a pussy and shut up and stop crying. Just go huddle in the corner and be depressed and don't do anything about your sad little life. And then I got the other extreme where people were attacking me for not picking up the phone immediately, or attacking me because they didn't. There's a guy on YouTube, my latest gay stalker. He's talking about, I talked to James 3 times and didn't get anything out of it except go to my store. Well, it sounds like he was pissed that I said he has to do something. If you have a weight loss guru or a trainer that you go see, you don't go see them and the fat melts off. You have to go see them, get a program, and you have to exert some effort. I teach people how to fish. I don't just give them a bunch of fish. This is not a welfare line, you dumbass numbnuts. So back to the attorneys who say, "Oh, it's really expensive." Trial is expensive. If you do a deposition, you'll know all the answers for trial. So why wouldn't you do a deposition, know the answer to the test? It's the greatest tool available. Everything you do is expensive. So you're going to say, "Oh, we shouldn't do that because it's expensive"? Okay, why don't you give me a discount then? They just don't want to do it. And then they say the thing, "Well, we're going to prepare him." Now, they usually say, "Well, we're going to tip him off to our questions." This last person I talked to said, her attorney said, "Well, we're going to prepare him for our questions at trial." Everybody's supposed to get prepared for trial. And a criminal defendant, they get to see all of the evidence the prosecutor is going to use against them so they can prepare for trial. And if you're in the right, if you're the one who's correct and justice is on your side, you don't need to worry about who's more prepared or not. Football teams, they watch film of each other for other games. They're like, "Oh, they're going to watch film and give away a secret." No, just be more prepared than them. Here's the thing. If let's say you ask the mother a question, do you think parents should be are equal? Do you think, like I show you in a video on my YouTube channel, questions for a deposition at trial. You ask at a deposition, do you think both kids need parents? Do you think both parents are important? Do you think they're equally important? Do you think they should have equal time? Well, now you got some basic stuff solidified and sworn under oath. So if they were going to catch you off guard at trial, you're prepared for the answers. Now, they're going to be a little prepared, but they don't know what your follow-up questions are going to be. Just think about how stupid it is to walk into trial totally in the dark and you have no idea what they're going to answer. And then your attorney gets caught with their pants down asking a question like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that. What are they talking about? We didn't go over that." And then you're trying to whisper something on the spot at trial. Whereas if they would have asked at a deposition, they would know that that's an answer and to not ask that question. Or to ask other trick questions to lock them into things like kids need both parents, all this other stuff. So why don't you want both parents to be involved? See, if you nail down some fun, and even if you prepare them for the questions, they can't change their story. You're getting their answers for your advantage to argue stuff ahead of time or know their answers so they don't trick you. Would you rather you be in the dark or them be in the dark? If you're in the dark, your attorney will get caught with their pants down. If you get answers, yeah, you tip them off, but they're still in the dark because you have a follow-up question or something. Your attorney's so stupid they didn't think of that. Screw them on the deposition bullcrap excuses.